You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into...
Deny all the things I've seen, all the things I've discovered, but not for much longer. Because too many others know what's happening out there. And no one, no government agency has jurisdiction over the truth.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Harry.
And the truth shall set you free!
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 8192 The Truth. This is Joel D. Supernaw. And for my partner, my absent partner, Kevin, Brother Sineer, welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to the Wednesday episode. Now, Brother Sin, I thought we were going to have him on the show. I thought we were going to be able to connect and talk about all of the different things that are going on in mixed martial arts. But quite frankly, he is too busy. He is selling his house. He's got a new baby coming. Well, he's got a new baby in the oven. He's got 3 kids. He's buying a house. Got a couple businesses to run. And now he is inundated with the business that you guys have made called 8192 The Truth, the podcast. The numbers are through the roof. Phenomenal. Phenomenal numbers. I'm proud of that. I really am. So Sin's not going to be here today, and it's just going to be the Godfather. It's not going to be the Godfather. It's just going to be old Joel. I'm taking Lad to school this morning. And I asked Lad, hey man, how's it going? How is high school going? And he says, well, scholastically, and socially, it's a little tough. The kids I thought were my friends, they exclude me. I didn't see that coming. It's tough socially to gain any steam, and the classes are hard. I said, well, what do you rate it? Thinking, maybe it was a 7 out of 10. He said 5. And I was like, okay, so it sucks. And he was like, no, 5 to 7. He did that for me. And I was like, no, lad, it's okay. It sucks. Those kids aren't including you. It's tough socially. It's tough. Danny Russell said, nothing wrong with hard times, nothing wrong with struggle, nothing wrong with a little disappointment, especially if you handle it right. And I said, well, that sucks, lad. And we started F-U-ing what was going on. He got into it and he was like, yeah, F this and F that. And I know how he's going to react. I know because he's already done this. He is going to continue to fight the good fight, to be a good kid, to teach us all lessons. I mean, he's the biggest part of this show. He's the reason this show is growing. People want to know more about Lad than they want to know me. I can guarantee you that. They are more inspired by Lad than they are anything that either me or Brother Sin say. We're not smart enough, rich enough, cool enough to change. I can coach you up. I can say funny things. But at the end of the day, it's that 14-year-old boy that is struggling, like a lot of kids are. There's a lot of freshmen in high school that would love, their parents would love to give it a 5. 5 out of 10, halfway. 5 out of 10, 50%. That's failing, though. That's failing. That is definitely failing. So my takeaway from that was it hurts. That hurts. But like Lad, I'm motivated by his fire. He had to fight out of special needs. They diagnosed him mid-spectrum autistic at 2.5. By the 5th grade, he'd fought through that, and he carries that label with him today, Lad Special. And, it's a social and communicative disorder. Well, he can communicate. You hear him on the show. He talks clearer and better than I do. He can communicate just fine. So now he's got the social side of it. Well, there's a two-way road on that socialization. There's his and there's theirs. There's everybody else's. And we are not a good people. We do not always do the best thing. You gotta realize Lad's made it too far to be a Hallmark card. He's too good that the kids to be like, oh, Lad's special, and no, he's too good. So that just leaves him to whatever's left, which is basically being excluded and bullied. That's where he's at. That sucks. But he's going to fight through it. He's going to fight through it. So I was thinking about that on my way to the gym. I am struggling at the gym because I lost my heart rate monitor. I lost my MyZone heart rate clip. Now, I've exercised my entire life. I don't need that thing. I've just been on a bit of a roll with it. I've been strapping it up for the last couple months, getting into it. So I lost it about 10 days ago, and I've struggled. So I said, well, if I don't find it today, that's it. The March is here tomorrow. I got 30 days left in this program. I'm going to finish it like an animal. I'm going to have positive results from where I started at 90 days ago. I quit chewing. I quit chewing. I chewed for 30 years. I chewed for 30 years, and I quit. That's cool. Good for me. So, I said, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I looked for it. I couldn't find it. I jumped on the elliptical, and I decided something. I thought about what Lad was saying. His experience. God, I wish I could talk clear. I can't believe 1 million people listened to us last week. 1 million of you downloaded our shows last week. Not 1 million separate, but 1 million downloads. Yeah, we had 50,000 from other shows. You guys are going back. The new people are going back and listening to all the shows. But man, just think if I could talk clearly. Just think if I could enunciate. If I could do all of those things, I probably wouldn't have the same appeal. I'd be just like everybody else. So anyway, I look at my life and I say, well, you know what? I got this podcast thing. It's blowing up. That's cool. Feel a lot healthier about myself. But I couldn't give my life any better than a 5. So I've got work to do. Lad's got work to do. I got work to do. And I decide while I'm on that elliptical, this came back from me last week. You know what? I've never tried in my entire life smiling every day, all the time. When you hear about positive people, when you hear about game changers, they have one thing in common. They're always in a good mood. Do you know how you can tell when somebody's in a good mood? They smile. I don't. I could be in a great mood, and you wouldn't know. I still look like I'm still mean mugging. And I know why I started mean mugging. I started mean mugging when I was a little kid because I was poor. Didn't have anything. Then I got in athletics, played football and wrestled. So I started mean mugging there because mean was cool. And then that followed me into becoming a character. Mean mug. It's been a part of my life. I look like Shrek, and Shrek doesn't have a smile on his face. Well, I decided that's going to change. And the best place for it to change is working out. Because if you can keep a smile on your face and blow your heart up, you can keep a smile on your face in the grocery store, at Lad's practice, at church, wherever else I go. I can keep a smile on my face. That's an immediate change. That is an immediate change. And all I have to do, I can do it right now. I just did it. I just smiled just now. And it was an immediate change. We got to work hard for other change. We got to work hard to get stronger and faster. We got to work hard on our nutrition. We got to work hard on our mental energy. How about just smiling? And if you already do it, man, good for you. Good for you. I can tell a difference in Ladd. You know, he got his braces off, and I just keep hollering at him to smile. I want to see those big, beautiful teeth. I'm proud of him. But there's more to it than that. When we went out and played baseball the other day, he had a huge smile on his face. He was very successful. He was very successful. Ladd's come so far. He's come so far. He's getting base hits on the. He's probably not going to make the team, but he got a base hit last night against the high school team. And I was telling him about all of the people that fell away over the last 6 years while he's been playing baseball. They quit playing. They didn't think they were going to be good enough, which is a shame. That boy's going to play baseball for the next 4 years. He's going to start wrestling too. He's going to get his agility. He's going to get his balance. And once he has agility and balance, look out. Look out. Now 5 is going to become a 6, then a 7, then an 8, then a 9, then a 10, then 11. Wait, there's no 11. So I decide right there, the biggest thing I can do, the most immediate thing I can start doing is I can start smiling. And every time I do it, good things happen. Every time I put a smile on my face, good things happen. So that's your lesson today, man. That's your first lesson today, is if you want to change, make it something as immediate as that. Put a smile on your face. Just try it right now. For the rest of this show, put a smile on your face and see how accepting you are of the other words that I'm going to give you. You know how else you change? You know what else you're going to do to change? You're going to go to Equifax.com. You're going to get the 3-in-1 credit report. You're going to pull it up, and you're going to spend about an hour researching your credit and seeing where your credit score is, and protecting the most important thing that you have financially is your credit. It is easier in life if your credit score is over 750. If it's over 700, you're fine. But that difference between 700 and 750 is top tier. Top tier treatment everywhere you go. And if you're like me, if you're closer to a 5 than you are a 7, well, we got work to do. We got work to do. And you just knock it off one thing at a time. There's some things on your credit that are not reporting accurately. You need those fixed. You're going to get an immediate bump in score. They have a simulator there that you can go in and you can simulate, if you pay this collection, how many points is it going to have? How many higher points is it going to have? If you pay down your credit cards, that's usually a killer, is the credit cards. How's it going to differ? How much higher is it going to go? Go to Equifax.com. That is a perfect way to make immediate change. You know who hadn't changed much? Jon Jones. Jon Jones, for the ones that you don't know, for our new massive non-MMA audience, Jon Jones is the greatest fighter in mixed martial arts history. He is a multiple-time light heavyweight champion, and the only times he's lost the belt, it was because he did something stupid. One time he did a hit and run. He's failed now 2 different drug tests. So he's been suspended from the UFC at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. They all kind of run together for me. The only reason I'm not a bigger Jon Jones fan is because there's a guy named Daniel Cormier. He was a wrestler at Oklahoma State, and quite frankly, he's funny, he's a badass, and he appears to be a pretty decent guy. He appears to be a pretty decent human. But again, fans of the sport, I mean, I'm just a fan. I would like Jon Jones a lot more if Daniel Cormier wasn't his number one rival. I like Daniel. Now, Jon can't get out of his own way. He cannot get out of his own way. And we come to what happened last year, last July. He wins his title back from Daniel Cormier, and then he fails the drug test. He fails his drug test for an estrogen blocker. The reason you would use an estrogen blocker, I did this research today. The reason you would use an estrogen blocker is if your testosterone was too high, your titties are going to get sore. And you use that drug that he popped for to release the tension in your titties. I believe it, man. I believe everything that is associated with Jon Jones because he had a hearing yesterday. And his hearing was, I don't know, I'm dumb. I'm a dummy. His defense was, I'm a dummy. People be around me, spoil me rotten, including my management team. Man, you never want to rob a bank with Jon Jones, okay? You never want to rob a bank with Jon Jones because Jon Jones, he'd do what's called a dry snitch. He dry snitched yesterday, okay? He snitched on his management team, and it wasn't even a question. There wasn't even a question that was related to him. He just started snitching. He said, I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't know about the USADA protocol. USADA is the drug agency in charge of busting these athletes for cheating, which I tell you over and over and over again. You want to clean the sport up? Get rid of USADA. It's never going to be clean. These guys aren't going to quit cheating. If you know the answer, change the question. Change the question. So he goes ahead and just says, hey, I didn't take the USADA protocol. My management team did, and they forged, he used the word forged the document, forged my name. It was a horrendous showing on Jon Jones. He said, we tested the 17 different supplements I was taking. 7 of them are approved by USADA. Well, USADA doesn't approve supplements. They have a ban list, and it's either in there or not. They don't approve supplements. So apparently he was wrong there. His defense was, I don't know how this got in my system. I didn't do it. And the big thing here, and even the head of USADA is come out and said, yeah, it defies reason why somebody would pass all these other tests and fail that one. Well, yeah. You know why he failed it? Because his titties hurt. He took it because his titties hurt. That's why he took it. That's why, and there's nothing in his defense that would say otherwise. I don't know why I did it. You see, bad people don't know they're bad people. I think I'm a lot better person than I am. Those kids that are excluding Ladd from the inner social, they're nicer than they think they are. They're nicer to Ladd than they think they are. The truth is in the eye of the beholder. Jon Jones doesn't believe he's ever cheated. Has Jon taken illegal supplements? Absolutely, of course. Does he think he did anything wrong? No, absolutely, 100%. So his defense is, I would never cheat. Now, while he's taken banned substances, he still believes that. He still, in his heart of hearts, believes that he's never cheated. that he did not cheat intentionally. They even said that yesterday. They even said, we don't believe Jon Jones cheated intentionally. And it kind of become a poor Jon thing. Now, yeah, he muddied himself up bad. And I hate USADA. So he has to go to USADA now. USADA is going to rule on his suspension. And then chances are that the California Athletic Commission will back that. Very much like the coaches in Ladd's Little League baseball team. They've already decided his fate because there isn't any information that they're going to get that they don't know. And both sides, USADA, the California Athletic Commission, and Jon, have all come to the conclusion he did not cheat on purpose. That doesn't matter, Jon. That doesn't matter. Now, if it was up to me, I'd let you all fight. I'd let you fight hopped up or not hopped up. Athletes been competing against each other on an unlevel playing field forever. You want to cheat, cheat. It's going to come back and get you somehow, some way. Every bad thing you do in your life is going to come at you. I know that. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. The guys that are on top, the guys that have done things wrong, and they're going to get theirs, trust me. If their dysfunction in their rich and highfalutin life isn't bad enough, the other shoe's going to drop eventually. It always does. That's human nature. I've been on this planet 51 years. Every bad thing I've done, I've got punched in one way or another for it. My yin is good with my yang. I'm ready to move that needle. So Jon is now going to go in front of USADA. USADA has already decided his fate. What do I believe his fate is going to be? I have a hard time thinking they would do a year. He's already halfway through that. He fought in July. I think they'll go 18 months. 18 months would put him real close to the end of the year, fighting at the end of the year. I think everybody on the inside knows that's coming, probably including Jon. So what is my take on Jon Jones? It's no different than the rest of them. You're not going to clean the sport up. And you're definitely not going to clean the sport up by ruining the sport. These guys, if you gave them some, if you all let them take some steroids, you said, hey, listen, we can't keep you guys from taking steroids. We just want you to take the exact amount. We're even going to administer it. They'd still find a way to cheat. They would if you gave them everything they wanted, but you gave everybody else everything they wanted. They're still going to find a way for them to cheat. Are they all cheating? No. Are half of them cheating? Yes. I would say that's probably right. Anywhere between 50 to 60% of the athletes are cheating in some manner. In some manner. I think that's a reasonable assumption. So Jon Jones in the theater, which is Jon Jones, man, he plays that victim card so well. He did it yesterday. He did that victim card. The toughest man on the planet Earth is a victim. There's a lesson for all of us. There's a lesson for all of us. And it's don't be a victim. It's do not be a victim. I wish he would just come up and say, hey, yeah, my titties hurt. I took that. Well, why'd you take that? Well, I took some other testosterone too. Well, John, that's illegal. Everybody's doing it. Well, not as much as they used to. I'm Jon Jones. I wish that was his defense. I wish his defense was I'm Jon Jones. Mike Tyson went to prison for rape. And his defense was, I'm Mike Tyson, I'm bad people. That was his defense. The difference is they locked him up for a spell. Jon Jones isn't getting locked up. Even if you lock Jon Jones up, he's gonna keep doing knucklehead things. It's never going to change. It's too late. It's too late. So what do we want as a fan? Well, again, I'm on the side of let them compete. Let them all compete. Moving on, you have the Colby Covington, who was big brothered Chael's gimmick. I don't know this, but I'm going to say he was big brothered that gimmick. And he's done a fair job. He's done a fair job with that gimmick. But the problem is he's done a hell of a lot better job with winning fights. So what Colby decided to do was do a bad imitation of Chael and do it as a bully. That's what he's been doing. That's what he's been doing for the last 6 months. I don't like it. I haven't liked it. I haven't liked it at all. Chael says it's working on me. I'm a mark because it irritates me. It's not. It's not working on me. I could be irritated by somebody and not be a mark. If his goal, if his end game is wanting me to think he's an idiot, yeah, he's done that. He has succeeded on me thinking he's an idiot and a bully. This is prior to what he does this weekend. Mike Perry, in his 9th fight in 2 years, he goes out and lays an egg in his hometown. He wasn't very technical. Mike Perry has the skills to beat the fighter that beat him. I believe that. He caught a little bit of his own hype train. He's 26 years old. He goes out and he lays an egg, but he still fought. He still fought all the way to the end. His opponent had a better game plan, and his opponent won the fight. Mike Perry, I think, going into the fight, might be ranked 12th. Colby Covington is ranked 3rd. So eventually Colby's got a big fight coming up against somebody. And so what Colby does is Colby calls Mike Perry an inbred and his girlfriend a horse face. So he bullies a guy after he just lost a match. He bullies him right after he just lost a match, and it doesn't do anything for Colby Covington. Other than make him look like an idiot, a bully. Did he raise the bar? Yeah, for bullies. Yeah, he raised the bar for idiots. He sure did that. He picked on a guy he's not going to fight. Well, that's just that. There isn't anything bigger. There isn't anything bigger than being a bully there. And one of the cool things about Mike Perry is his best friend and his girlfriend are his corner people. Guess what, people? They've been his corner people for the last 9 fights. He's won 6 of them by knockout. He's gained a lot of money, a lot of notoriety with those exact same people in his corner. And so what Fox did is they panned to the corner, and his girlfriend said the words, "Show him your strength," and break his leg. Okay, for all the armchair quarterbacks in the world, where's your, nobody should say those things. If they had a mic on every stupid thing a corner man said, they would literally run out of time to listen to them all. The corner person is the most overrated thing on this planet. If you had 100 fighters in front of you right now, and you ask them, you know what? That's not true. This sport has changed. This sport didn't even exist 20 years ago. Or no, 20. It's coming up on 25 years. But up until UFC and Zuffa made it a mainstream sport, nobody cared about it, which means nobody cared about being in anybody's corner. The people that were in your corner were your bros. Girlfriend, not so much. That's a little bit different. But so what? So what? That's who's in his corner. Does he need to change things? They all do. He's 26 years old. Does he need to change his corner? No. Why? That's a guy that's going to go out there and fight his heart out. You know who he wants in his corner? Somebody that he'll go to war with. Somebody that he loves. There isn't anything wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. If I was coming out to fight, if I was ever going to come back and fight, you know who'd be sitting in my corner? Ladd. Ladd would be sitting in my corner. 14-year-old kid. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah, I could have Chael there. I could probably, if Randy's schedule worked, I could probably have him in my corner. I could have some cool people in my corner. I ain't going to listen to him anyway. I'm going to go get down. And most of the fighters will tell you the same thing. So for everybody coming out and getting on the same tip as the Colby Covington, just on a different tip, the people that say, "Hey, that was you crossed the line. You crossed the line there." Well, you didn't cross the line. There is no line. It's cage fighting. You upped your bad guy persona. The problem is, Colby, you have to have some charm with that. You were grandfathered or allowed to take a really original bit, and you can't pull it off. So all you can do is be a dickhead. That you do well. That you do great. But Colby, where's that going to get you? Where is it going to get you? Are you automatically, once you become the champ, are you going to automatically say, "Hey, just kidding"? Or are you going to keep being a dickhead and a bully? I don't think you got it in you to be the champ. I don't think you could beat T. Wood. I don't think you. I don't think you can. But I can't stand you. So even if I thought you could, I'd probably not say that. And Chael says, "Hey, you're marking out. You're marking out for the guy." No, man, the guy's an idiot. Guy's an idiot. He kicked somebody when they were down, and he made it personal. You know how many people got punched in the face for eyeballing Miss H back in college? I don't know if they all had it coming. They just eyeballed her. They just eyeballed her the way she walked. Mike Perry's got to come see Colby. I mean, I think if he went to Dana, I think Dana would agree. Hey, man, this is a cage fight. There's a couple things you don't do. You don't bring kids into it, and you don't bring family into it. You don't bring a guy's girlfriend into it. I think she's hot. I think she's a good-looking gal. I like the whole thing. I think Perry needs to take some time off. But I say, that you can't get rid of a fighter's heart. That's the biggest thing in the world. Ladd, for instance, I know he's going to be great. He's going to be great. He's going to be super successful because he's got a fighter's heart. Mike Perry's got a fighter's heart. He goes out there and fights wars, and he's very athletic. And he's young enough. So I'm not ready to roll the white flag up on Mike Perry. Donald Cerrone. I told you guys I would get back to this topic, and I am. I'm back to it. So what Donald does is the first thing he does is he lives this gimmick, and these guys around him, man, you don't have to Google Phil Baroni. Okay, Phil Baroni was a fighter in the UFC, fought in Pride. I think he might have fought in Strikeforce. He hadn't been around for a while, hadn't been able to get any fights. He fought a lot of really, really tough people. I think he was under 500 or barely under 500. Man, he is out living in some dude's basement in Stockton, California. And all of the people around him, it appears to me, are feeding a delusion. And the guys around, they're no different. The guys, they look like idiots, and it makes my face, my stomach hurt. It makes my face hurt because I'm smiling so much. It's embarrassing to kind of see how far a guy has fallen. Well, my stomach hurt just as bad when Donald Cerrone did the countdown show, and he's ice fishing, and then he's hitting the mitts with no shoes on in the middle of some field, the middle of some pond. And his coach is like, yeah, we're all along for the ride. He'll wake us up at 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll go work out, whatever Donald says. No, man, that's not what being a coach is about, bro. That's not what being the coach is about. So Donald fell into this tough guy, lived this crazy life gimmick, about 4 years ago when the gimmick became real. He's really doing it. He's really living that life. He's went out and fought too many times, and his skill set has been diminished. It has. There isn't anybody that knows anything about this sport that watched that last fight and said that's the same Donald. No, man, he can't get his head off the center line. He's plodding, he's moving, and he tricked his opponent into a brotherly love festival. About 3 fights ago, that's what I always want to go out there and do this for the fans, get in wars for the fans. And then in the middle of the fight, he's high-fiving, he's doing this and that. He did this with Mike Brown. I thought Brown was winning the fight. And then, boom, Donald decapitates him with a head kick. Same thing happened. He was fighting a guy, Medeiros. Medeiros is a big Cowboy fan. Big love festival during the week. Man, you're going in to fight somebody in a cage. You're not friends. You want to be friends. You're friends after the competition. After the competition, you can do whatever you want. Well, so Cowboy tricks Medeiros into a love festival. Just a straight fight. And he catches him and knocks him out. And then Medeiros jumps the fence and goes and kisses Cowboy's grandma. The stupidest thing I've ever seen on television. Does Medeiros not have a coach? His girlfriend. You guys want to talk about his girlfriend? His girlfriend would probably say, hey, that's a pretty bad idea. If I went to Miss H that hates fighting, can't stand watching it. If I told her about that, she'd say, that doesn't make any sense. That's kind of stupid. Yeah, he tricked him. And unfortunately, because Donald's living this gimmick, and he won't train properly. He's going to do it the gimmick way, and he's going to go out there and please the fans. It's not going to end well for Dominic. It's not going to end well for Donald. He's going to get knocked out a few more times. It's not going to be good. Living the gimmick. Nobody in the sport is living the gimmick more than Donald Cerrone. It pained me. Scott Davenport sent me videos of Phil Baroni and some dude in Stockton, California, and Baroni making all of these stupid Instagram videos. It made my stomach hurt just as bad as it did. I was embarrassed for Phil, just as bad as it did when on the Fox Countdown show, Donald's coach, Brandon Gibson, is just like, hey, we're along for the ride. No, man. No, you're not. You're the coach. You're the coach. You're not along for the ride. You can't do that. You go hit the mitts with no feet, no shoes on the icy lake. Okay, that is for the marks. That's for the marks. The same people that think Donald's got another run in him. I'm not one of them. And I'm not beating up Donald. He's living a gimmick. It happens. It happens to all of them in some way or another. Cyborg versus some gal that we don't know that's never fought in the UFC is headlining a pay-per-view card. And they must know something that I don't. Because the people that I talk to agree with me as she's not a draw. Why would you have Cyborg up there? I guess you legitimize that belt. Maybe she's growing steam in Brazil. But yeah, you could have kept my interest if you kept Frankie as the headliner. So, Ladd wants to get the show. He's going to have some disappointment this week. I'll probably get him the show. I'm irritated by it. That's not worth $50 or $60 at all. You guys are having too many cards. You're not building stars and you're having too many cards. So slow it down. But you can't slow it down because you paid $4.6 billion. Somebody pencil whipped a P&L. And the bigwigs bought it hook, line, and sinker. So now I believe the Alphabet is now some company called Endeavor. That's a terrible pay-per-view. That's a terrible pay-per-view. I forgot to tell you I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this. I promised I tell the stories. I'm going to finish this podcast with a story, but that is not worth $60. Cyborg versus somebody that I don't know, blonde chick, is not worth $60. You know what is worth the price? You know what is worth $60? CarMax. You want to buy a new car? Go to CarMax. I already told you how it works. Before you go to CarMax, go to CarMax.com and look at their inventory. They'll show you all of their inventory everywhere. Here's what's cool about CarMax. Let's say you want to buy a 2011 Ford Explorer with 50,000 miles on it, white, leather interior. That's the exact rig you want. Type it in their search engine. They'll find it. It might be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It might be in Kansas City. But you can purchase that vehicle online, and they'll hold it to you. They'll hold it for you for 48 hours while you go into the local CarMax and get approved to buy it or pay cash for it. They'll ship it to you. Nobody does that. That's how their entire structure is. They want your business, and they respect you as a customer. I believe in 20 years there will be no more of the old school beat them until they submit car sales. I've operated too much on that principle. And that's one of the reasons I hated the car business so much. So go to CarMax. We love them being a part of our show. And what's so cool about CarMax is you don't have to buy. I want to hear this. I want to hear you guys go, hey, Godfather, hey, Joel, I listened to you. I went to CarMax. I didn't even buy a car, and you're right. They didn't even torture me. Or, no, I bought a car. Their financing was great. I got my financing on my own. It was a seamless transition. And you're right. That's not just a sponsor. You believe in that. Yeah. 100%. 100%. When you call Joel and ask him his advice on a car, what's he going to tell you? Go to CarMax. How many people have I told that to? I've at least told that to at least 100 people have solicited my information, and is go to CarMax, find a CarMax. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. So one of Billy Graham, a religious leader, passed away, and they have bestowed on him, he is lying in honor in the United States Capitol. It is a fantastic honor. I love it that they're doing it, and go and watch the ceremony, because there's a lot of things that people like myself don't know. It's the simplicity is beautiful. How they marched and counted every step from the hearse to where they lied Billy Graham in state was fantastic. He had every different branch of the military carry his casket. And I'm going to go learn a lot more about Billy Graham. What has struck me in my lifetime as Billy Graham is he never threw religion in my face. He was a religious man. He wasn't trying to convert me. He wasn't trying to sell me anything. I can say, as being on this planet for 51 years, that I have great respect for that. I don't want to be sold religion. Billy Graham never sold me religion, and he never sold the leaders of the country religion, because he was brought in and served counsel for both Republicans and Democrats. That's a real thing. 99 years old. So do yourself a favor and learn a little bit about what that means. I'm going to learn more about it. I'm going to learn more about it because I was moved by the ceremony. You know, several years ago, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, I had watched a bit on that. And I went and researched all about the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and the people that guard it. This is similar to the history and the protocol of what is expected. And it's something to be proud of your country for. Last but not least, I will end this. We'll call this the David Saldana Joel story. My son's going to probably get cut from the baseball team tonight. He's just going to play on another baseball team. It's not really that big of a deal, but he's going to be disappointed. But before he gets cut, a coach is going to sit down with him, and hopefully they're going to motivate him. Hopefully they're going to give him some hope. The reason I became a wrestler was that my football coach, Tom Knotts, wrapped his arms around me just a little bit as a football player. He was my coach my freshman year in football. I was very small. I think I weighed 115 pounds, but I was the nose guard. And I was one of the meanest kids. I was one of the meanest guys on the team. And I was a damn good football player. Played football through Pee-wees and everything. And I was a starting nose guard for our freshman team. We did pretty well. We won more games than we lost. And he was also the wrestling coach. So I decided to wrestle as opposed play basketball, because my nephew Johnny told me, "Hey, you suck at basketball." So I had to do something. I wasn't going to go home, so I went to the wrestling room, figuring, I'm tougher than everybody here. I remember asking. I remember asking Brenda's dad, Coach Hauptman, who was a wrestler. He wasn't coaching wrestling anymore at the time. But I remember asking him when I decided, okay, that day I was going to go to wrestling practice as opposed to basketball practice. I said, "Coach, what do you do if you win every match?" And he said, "Well, you're not going to have to worry about that." But, I said, "Well, if I do win every match, what happens?" He said, "Well, you would be the state champion." Well, that state champion, if I win every match, I should be able to do more than that. And he's like, "Well, I guess you could wrestle, and if you won every match, you could be a national champion." And is that it? I asked him. Yeah, Super. No, that's it, man. That's all you need to worry about. That's it, just the nationals, huh? And then he conceded. Well, I guess in crazy land, if you kept winning all your matches, you would then be a world champion. Okay. All right, that's what I needed to hear. I think that going to my first wrestling practice and knowing that if I win every single match, I could be a world champion, that sounded pretty good to me. I should be able to win every wrestling match, even though I've never wrestled before. Well, I sucked. I was horrible. My first match, I got pinned in I think 12 seconds. It was a record for the school. Nobody had ever got pinned any faster than 12 seconds. I did. And man, I just couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure out what was going on. And Tom Knotts came to me and he said, "Supernal," he's a little short, stocky guy, Chicago, from born and bred Chicago, chain smoked cigarettes. Smelled like an ashtray and sweat. "Supernal, I never seen this in my life. You was the best football player and the worst wrestler I've ever seen." This happens early on. As a matter of fact, he is the senior coach. He's the freshman football coach, but he is the senior, he's the varsity wrestling coach. This happens early on, after like the first or second tournament that I went to. And that lit a fire. I mean, that he didn't give me any hope, but that lit a fire. That lit a fire under my ass. And I started, I really took it serious. And then I started winning some matches. And then I went to where Ladd is at, except Ladd's been going through baseball practice for years, for 6 months. I went to the baseball tryouts my freshman year, and I was good. I was a good baseball player. I made all the all-star teams coming up. I was a very good baseball player. I was small. I didn't hit my growth spurt until later, but I was good. I probably would have made the baseball team. And I came to Coach Knotts, and I asked him, "Hey man, there's 50 people out for this team. I'll probably make the team. I don't know if I'm going to get much playing time." And he said, "Super, I think you could be a state champ next year." Now, which is crazy to say because I just started wrestling as a freshman. But he believed that. And then from that point on, I quit the baseball team. I never regretted quitting the baseball team because I got in wrestling and I paid my dues. I went to every tournament I could all summer long, all throughout the summer, everywhere. Every weekend I was at a wrestling tournament. How I paid for it and how I got there, I have no idea. We'll talk about that in another story about how magnificent coaches are. But I did it. I did it because Tom Knotts gave me what I needed more than anything in this world. Money, prestige, food. I needed something more than all of that. He gave me hope. He gave me hope. And I hope when one of those coaches cuts my kid tonight, I hope they do the same thing. Because I know I'm going to right after as soon as I get my hands on them. Tell them how proud I am of them. What a magnificent journey it has been thus far, but the journey does not end tonight. It does not. Failure is a part of success. And with that, I'm going to rack this. I'm going to put it in the proverbial Jim Rome rack and deuce you guys out. Peace.